Kathy was finishing at the rim. Paige finds a spot on the floor, in and out. That's ripped down by Kirsch-Dieter. Franklin, Jackson running to the rim and finds a nice easy look on the inside and beating Huskies down. It's just a 5-point ball game with less than 140 in this ball. So a timeout will be called for the Huskies as the Jayhawks have surged back, put on a little bit of a run, but really getting everything with stops and quick buckets on the other end.
Yeah, they seem to have done it quietly too. Yeah. All of a sudden, a 2-possession game, and Zakiya Franklin, how many times have we seen her get into the paint? She does not have the size, you'd think, and then in transition. This is what Gino Auriemma was not happy about. Poor transition defense leads to easy offense for Kansas.
How about Kansas getting another opportunity for maybe a possible late game situation? They said if they could do it over, they'd want that opportunity, and they fought their way back into this one, being down as many as 13 points in the second half.
I imagine UConn will do whatever they can to stall Kansas, of course, not needing to foul.
Knowing that if there's a foul on either end of the floor, that there will be free throws, but you don't want to give up an easy two.
And that was easy. No help coming over.
So as we're approaching the 1-minute mark, 7-point lead for the Huskies, and they'll continue to take some air out of the ball. Yeah. At what point do you say, should we foul to get some extra possessions?
It almost looks like they have conceded the loss, which does surprise me. But Paige Beckers, when it looked like it was, you could keep things close, just a 2-possession game here. Beckers just a spin, no help comes for defense, and I would think all eyes would be on Paige Beckers in that situation.
So Tiana Jackson actually fouls out of this ball game. Had 4 in the previous game. So just a tough night and tough tournament defensively for Jackson.
Yeah, 2 quick fouls in both games, limited her minutes. She was not able to see the floor much at all in the first half. Yesterday against Virginia Tech, this year against UConn, or excuse me, yesterday and then today against UConn. And that, that hurt Kansas early on. But Paige Beckers has been, everything is advertised. 22 points today. She has hit 2 threes. She's perfect from the 3-point line. She's been to the line 5 times, 4 or 5 from that area. But these defensive stops, her deflections, her ability to see the basket, find her own shot. I mean, she's just been special.
Yeah, absolutely. So elusive, just a prolific scorer, understands what she needs to do for herself, but also a lot like what we saw in other All-Stars within this tournament, like a Georgia Amore. When to turn it on for yourself as well in others.
That's the perfect example right there. It's exactly what Georgia Amore did after that very poor first half for her in terms of turnovers and lack of points. She came in the second half and was a different player.
So a foul on the baseline. This one is going to go against Holly Kirsch-Dieter. They wanted more of an excessive foul there, but it looks like the officials are going to make sure everything is okay and just have free throws for the Huskies on the other end.
And Kirsch-Dieter going for the foul, but gives a lot of contact. I like the fact that you mentioned Paige Beckers' high school days. It gives me an opportunity to mention I grew up right next to her. She was She grew up in Hopkins, Minnesota, and from Edina, Minnesota. So we would have been, well, she's much younger than me, but rival high schools.
I love the fact that you said that you played against AZ Fudd's mom.
I know, right?
All right.
I aged myself right there. By the way, that is a weird world. You're not there yet, but
I
to
am not.
feel like you noted. Thank you. To feel it, to know that you are watching kids of people you played against. I mean,
That's when it comes.
how can that
different.
be when I'm 25?
You
right?
are 20. I thought it was 26, but
26,
okay.
yeah, 23.
Pre-conference scheduling tournament as well. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a better place, not a better partner, not a better group to be doing this with. Flow Hoops, KMAX Sports. It's been top notch in every way.
Yeah. I mean, you already talked about the people that have been able to just work tirelessly and just make sure and ensure that teams were having the best time that they could and the best competition on the court, but also just putting us in a scenario where we're safe and having a great time.
Yeah.
And on Thanksgiving week, you know, in the beautiful Cayman Islands. So our producer, Lucas Haskins, Cruz Sanchez, our director, Tyler Larkin, Scott, Liz, Alton, Pat. Got Albert as well on our cameras. Freddie, Roland, we can go down the line. Luigi has been making sure that we have all been taken care of.
A game, or in between a game, where multiple people haven't come up and said, hey, what can we get you? How can we help you? And the staff here at the gym, we got to talk to the president of the high school yesterday, or excuse me, the principal of the high school yesterday, and I mean, just top-notch tournament. Looking forward to seeing the future of this. Of course, this is the inaugural event. And unbelievable job by Joanne P. McCallie to get 4 top 10 teams, among other great teams that we have seen, one being the Kansas Jayhawks, who we're having the privilege of watching right now. But next year, some great talent, some great teams already signed up to come out to the Cayman Islands Classic. So if you don't have Thanksgiving plans, this is where you need to be.
Especially if you were debating to leave Sano.
Yeah,
you
there
might
you
want
go.
to make let that be convincing enough. As we're looking at the all-tournament team for the second portion of today, as Anissa Morrow, she was so good for LSU all week long. Virginia, down to Vaughn. Oh my goodness. We can go on and on and on about what she's been able to do for Virginia, UConn, Paige Beckers. No surprise there. And Kansas, Ayanna Jackson, walking away with the all-tournament team, but I think there are a couple of people on this Kansas team that deserve the nod as well.
Yeah, it's been a team effort for sure. They're going to go away with 2 losses, but 2 very close games to 2 highly ranked opponents. Nothing to hang your head about, and you can only get better from these experiences. I love the fact that Yanta Vaughn was on that all-tournament team. That's a player who comes off the bench, and she was explosive in her 2 games.
That game they had against LSU, I mean, she time and time again hit big bucket after big bucket. Sam Brunel, another player that actually got the start for the first time this season, coming back from last year's injuries. So just good to see them on the floor as UConn, after taking the loss to UCLA last night, bounce back and get the win against Kansas. And so they will move on to 4-2 on the season.
A great effort by Kansas.